Welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. In the same module, that is a quality systems in IT. We have started with the same module, same chapter in the last class. We have discussed some topics of the chapter number 2. That is a basic concept of chapter number 2 that we have discussed in the last class. So let's start with this one. Or let's start with the previous class session, then move to today's topic. That is what are the various components that is available in this one, or who is a customer, that is a part of the basic concept. So first of all, we have discussed about the principle of the prescription. That is what are the various principle, what are the various prescription. That means whenever we are talking about the rules regulation that is carried out, that is the rules regulation of the principle, that is known as the principles of the rules regulation. So these are the various parts that is used, we have discussed in the last class. And we have discussed about the without a set of the principle, achieving a common understanding in the field of quality management will be impossible. That is impossible in the quality management, that is impossible doing a common understanding in the field of the quality management, that will become impossible, right? So we have discussed about this one in the last class. So there are multiple principles that is carried out. So without a principle, achieving a common understanding or achieving a common objective in the field of quality management is impossible. Because if there are no rules and regulation, if there is no principle that is setting out, so how we can achieve the target, or how to achieve a common understanding in the field of the quality management, that becomes impossible. And there is a quality management in the 1915 that has been considerably energy putting into codifying the field of the quality management. There are the various principles. There is nothing to use or wrong with wanting a prescription. It saves the time, nothing else. So we have discussed about this one. Then we have discussed about the quality. That is, what is the quality? So we have all needs, or we all have needs, wants, requirement, and expectation. That is, we as a human being all have some needs, all have some wants, all have some requirements, and all have some expectations. Like I have expected that assignment will be submitted on the time from my student. That is some requirements, some expectations, some wants, some having also quality. And needs are essential for the life. For example, food, shelter, clothes, and the clothing are the various requirements or the needs for the life. And it is available that man is a wanted being. That means there is always some needs that he wants to satisfy. Once this is complete, that need no longer motivates him, and he turns to another game or seeking the satisfaction. That means once one satisfaction is gained, the next satisfaction, next satisfaction, next satisfaction. That means there are multiple satisfaction which the customer seeking out, or which seeks the customer satisfaction, but they have necessity to take out another one. That means everyone has some needs, but they have to carry out the another satisfaction. That means they are carried out for the another quality management, and these needs are fulfilled by the individual purchasing, renting, leasing products or services, whatever the need. For example, if I need of the house, so there is a proper renting procedure, leasing procedure, that is of the product and the services. They are proper purchasing, renting or leasing the product and services. And this is the hierarchy of the need that is available. There is a self-actualization need, there is a esteem need, there is a social need, safety need, and a psychological need. So these are the various needs that is available in the hierarchy of the needs. And these needs are fulfilled by the individual purchasing, renting, whatever the things that is available. And you have to remember these needs. This is the hierarchy of the need. The first need, or that is available, that is known as the self-actualization need. So that is the self-actualization need that is available. And then there is the esteem need. Then there is a social need. There is a safety need, and at last there is a psychological need. And requirements are what we request of the other and may encompass our needs, but often we don't fully realize what we need until after we have made our request. That means we don't realize what we need after we are making the release, or after we are having a made our request. For example, now that we have own a mobile phone and we discover we really need hands-free operation when using the phone while driving a vehicle. Our requirement at the moment of sale may not therefore express our needs. So that means that cannot express our needs, but the need is carried out, or whatever the need that is used to express all our needs. And by focusing on the benefits resulting from the product and the services, needs can be converted into the wants, such as the need for the food may be converted into the want for a particular brand of chocolate. For example, if I want I am hungry, for example, that need may be converted into the particular brand of chocolate. For example, Silk, I love Silk chocolate. So that is my need, or that is my want, not the need. But my need is my hunger. And expectations are implied needs or the requirement. They have not requested because we take them for granted. That will be understood for our society as accepted norms. And in supplying the product or the services, there are three fundamental parameters that determine the saleability. So there are three fundamental parameters that is available for the saleability. What are the three parameters? That is price, quality, and the delivery. Whatever the price, whatever the quality, what is the delivery of this phase that is used to supplying the product or services. And customers require product and services of a given quality to be delivered by or available by a given time and to be of the price that reflects value for the money. So whatever the value, whatever the price, whatever the quality, whatever the delivery that is available, that requires the product to be delivered on the time with proper quality. An organization will survive only if it creates and retains the satisfied customer, and this will only be achieved if it offers for the same product. That means quality can also be achieved by if it is available for various characteristics for fulfill a need or expectation that is stated, general, implied, or obligatory. That is known as the quality. So the quality to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill a need or expectation that is stated, general, implied, or obligatory. And the word quality has different meaning. Now, what are the various meaning? If I'm saying that, yeah, quality is good, that means that taste is good or the variety is good. So first meaning that is available is the degree of the excellence. Then conformance with the requirement. That is, if my requirement is met, that means I have a good or that thing has a good quality. That means the conformance with the requirements. Then the totality of the characteristics of an entity with that bears on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So whatever the need that is available, that is used for the various needs. Then fitness for use, that means the thing will be fit for the use. Then fitness for purpose, then freedom from defects, imperfection or contamination. That means freedom from the defects. There is no defect, there is no imperfection, and there is a delighting customers that is available for the quality goods or quality that has different meaning. So that is a delighting the customers. So quality can be expressed or can be defined as a degree or to which a set of the characteristics fulfill a need or expectation that is stated, generally implied or the obligatory. That is generally implied or obligatory in a sense. That means it is available within the standards within the particular parties. Next is the interested parties. That is, who are the interested parties? So organization exists because of their ability to satisfy their customers. So organization exists to satisfy the customers and other interested parties. Now there are parties other than the customer that have interest in the organization, and what it does that may vary deep, that is totally server product. That means whatever the parties that is available, that may be a customer, that may be any interested party that is available for example, the interested parties for the organization may be a customer, maybe a owner, maybe employee, maybe contractor, any person that is available. So it can be defined as a person or group having an interest in the performance or the success of an organization. That is or that is defined as an interested party. However, the organization may not have an interest in all of them. Such parties are customers, owners, employees, contractors, suppliers, investors, union, partner, or society. Whatever the parties that is available, they are a part of the customer, they are a part of the owner, employee, contractor, supplier, investor, anything that is available with this one. And when you produce the product, you are producing them within the intent that these parties benefit, but particularly for the benefit of the customer. So whatever the benefit of the customer that is available, that is producing them or that is using the parties that is available for the benefits of the customer. Then other parties are not particularly interested in the product themselves, that may be interested in the fact. So the interested parties may be customer, owners, employees, contractors, suppliers, investors, union, partners, or society. Now the first part is, who are the customers? A product that possesses feature that satisfy the customer needs is a quality product. So whatever the quality product that satisfy the customer needs, that is a quality product. So that is a product that possesses a feature that satisfy the customer needs, that is a product, a quality product. Likewise, one that possesses the feature that dissatisfies the customer is not a quality product. So if the feature is not satisfy the customer, that is not a quality product. So the final arbiter on the quality is the customer. That is the final part that is available is the customer. The customer is the only one who can decide whether the quality of the product and services you supply is satisfactory or not. That means, who is the customer? The customer is only one who can decide whether the quality of the product and services you apply is satisfactory. That means whether the quality that is available is supply is satisfactory or not, and you will be very conscious or direct feedback, loss of sale, reduction in the market share, and ultimately the loss of the business. These are the various points by which we can supply the product, by which we can decide whether the quality of the product or your supply is satisfactory or not. That means you're conscious about the direct feedback, the direct sale, sales promotion, reduction in the market share, or ultimately the loss of the business. And this brings us back to the benefits. Now, the customer acquires a product for the benefit that possession will bring. So the customer acquired the benefits or requires a product for the benefit. Therefore, if the product fails to deliver the expected benefit, it will be considered by the customer to be a poor quality. That means if I am getting one product from the market, for example, mobile phone, but that mobile phone is not delivering or is not carrying out the benefit that I expect, that is a poor quality mobile phone. So who is a customer? Organization that receives a product or services that includes purchaser, consumer, client, user, retailer, or beneficiary. Whatever the customer, whosoever is the customer that receives the product or the service. So when making a judgment about the quality, the requirement should be expressed in terms of benefits, not a set of the derived characteristics. That means the requirement can be expressed as in terms of the benefits. That means whenever we are making the judgment about the quality, the requirement is the benefit, not a set of the objective. And in the foregoing, it was convenient to use the term of customer, but the definition of quality does not relate to the customer. That means that quality does not relate to the customer. That is the foregoing quality. Then next part is who are the internal customers. So there are external customers, there are internal customers. That is a part of the customer. That is we can say that is a customer that is available with the own parties. Now, we tend to think of the product and the services being supplied to the customer, and in the wake of TQM, we also think of the internal and the external customers. So there is the total quality management, that is the TQM. So we have to think about who are the internal customers, who are the external customers. But in reality, there is no such things as an external customer. There is no external customer that is available. Who is a customer? That is a stakeholder. They have entered into the commitment in return for some benefit. That is only a customer. That may be internal customer, that may be external customers. So it is implied that the organization and the person referred to as external to the organization supplying the product, but to interpret the customer as either internal or external would make nonsense of requirement. So there is nonsense of requirement that is used in the ISO where the term customer is used. The next part is a stakeholder. Who is a stakeholder? A person or organization that has freedom to provide something to or withdraw something from an enterprise. For example, if I'm a stakeholder, I am contributing something to the company. That is a person or organization that has the freedom to provide something to or withdraw something from an enterprise. It's up to the organization, up to the stakeholder that is providing the services, that is retaining the services. So he or she have a freedom to provide something to or withdraw something from an enterprise. Now, what is a supply chain? For example, there is a manufacturer, there is a retailer, there is a customer, that is the end customer, like we. That is a supply chain, how the goods will be supplied from one part to the another part. The transaction between the customer and the supplier is often a complex one. There may be a supply chain from original producer through the end user. So at each transaction within the supply chain, the receiving parties need to be satisfied. So whenever the customer will be satisfied, that means there is an end result that is carried out. So at each transaction within the supply chain, the receiving party needs to be satisfied. It is not sufficient to simply satisfy the first receiver or the service. All the parties in the supply chain need to be satisfied before you can claim to have supplied a quality product. So that means every product, every party in the supply chain needs to be satisfied before you can claim to or supply a quality product. And once the product leaves your premises, you can lose the control and therefore cannot be held accountable for any damage that may become the product. That means there is no damage, there is no damage that is available once you leave the product. There is no premises, that is you can lose the control and therefore cannot be held accountable or the damage that has become the product. Now, next is the society. What is a society? So, society is a stakeholder because it can withdraw its support for an organization. That is a society. So, it's a society or the stakeholder that can withdraw the support for the organization. So the next part is the society, that is, so come back from, first of all, come back from the break. Now let's start the session again. So next part is the society, that is how society will be impacted, or how society will be used, or what is the role of the society. So society is a stakeholder. It can withdraw its support for an organization. So what is a society? That is nothing but a stakeholder who can withdraw, or because it can withdraw its support for an organization. It can protest or invoke the legal action. So what is a, or why they are withdrawing the consent? They are withdrawing the consent because it can protest or invoke the legal action. And society is represented by the regulators, and regardless of whether or not a customer specified applicable regulations, you are under an obligation to comply or use what the objectives or what the usage that you are applying. So that apply for the objective, that apply for the usage that is carried out with the regulators, that is carried out in the interested party, whether you satisfy your customer or not. And your employees or your investors will satisfy your customers, your employees, that is investors. That means the society is a stakeholders, or the set of the stakeholders, because it can be its support for an organization. Who is a regulator? A legal body authorized to enforce the compliance with the laws and statutes of a national government. That is a regulator. That is a legal body that is authorized to enforce that is authorized to enforce compliance with the laws and statute of a national government, that is used with the national government, that is used with the regulators. So that is a legal body that is authorized to enforce compliance with the laws and statute of our national government. And what is the primary concern? That is the primary concern is the protection of the society. That is the primary concern of the regulators. And the regulator take their responsibility, authority from the law that should be assigned, or that should be designed to protect the innocent laborers, or that should be assigned to designed to protect the innocent society. And regulators are certainly stakeholders because they can review their approval. That is a society that is using the stakeholder, that is a stakeholder because it can review its support for an organization, that is using the organization support. It can review the concept, it can review for an organization. The next is the employees. So employees may not be considered or may not be interested in the product and the services, but are interested in the conditions in which they are required to work. That means what are the employees? They are not interested, or they may not be interested in the product and the services, but are interested in the conditions in which they are required to work. So what is the requirement? They are required to work for an organization. They are interested in the product and the services, and they are interested in the conditions in which they are required to work. And employees are stakeholders because they can withdraw their labor. So what are the employees? They are the stakeholders, they can withdraw their labors. The next is the suppliers. Who are the suppliers? The suppliers are interested in the success of an organization because it may in turn lead to their success. So whatever the success, whatever the supplier, they are interested in the success of an organization because it may in turn lead to their success, that is the supplier. However, suppliers are also takes or also stakeholders. Who suppliers are also stakeholders because they can reduce their patrons. So suppliers are also become the stakeholder because they can choose their customer, they can give their customers. So if you treat your suppliers badly, such as delaying the payment of invoices or for trivial mistake, you may find that they terminate the supply at the first opportunity. That means if for example, if you are not paying out the bill of Airtel or any company that you are using the internet, that means they are cutting the connection. That means the supplier some months, that means the payment of invoices that will be terminated, or their action will be the first priority to put the condition, that is the priority terminate the supply. That is the role of the supplier. So nothing but the supplier, whatever the stakeholder for the organization, who in turn lead to the success. The next is the investors. Who are the, or who is the investors? Often the most common type of the stakeholder. That is also the most common type of the stakeholder. That is the investor. Owners, investors, including banks and the stakeholders, are interested in protecting their stake in the business. They will withdraw their stake if the organization fail to perform. So investors means who invest into the organization. So they invest the money into the organization. They withdraw their stake, that they withdraw their money if the organization fails to perform. And poorly conceived product and the poorly managed processes and resources will not yield the expected return and the action of the investors. That means if they are investing the money, they want a profit for the organization, to the organization. So poorly conceived product and the poorly managed processes and the resources will not yield the expected return. So whatever I expect, that cannot be yielded with the expected return, and that cannot be yielded with the expected return, and the processes and the action of the taken or action of the investor can directly affect the supply chain. Although they are not the customers, they are feeding the supply chain with much needed resources. And in the event that this supply or the supply of resource is terminated, the organization is chooses to have a capability to serve its customer. That means if the investor is we can if the investor is supplier or the investor have a capability to serve the customer, they have a capability to serve the customer in the resources in the event that they are supplying to their not the customer. So if the investor is certify, he or she will we can say the draw back the stake or draw back the money what they invested in the organization. And the success of any organization therefore depends upon the understanding the needs and expectations of all the interested parties, not just the customer. Now, these are the interested party and they are the effectiveness criteria that is available with this one. That is how the effective criteria will be available with this customer. Now, first is the owner. Now, what is the effectiveness criteria? That is a financial return. That means there should be financial return, that is the effectiveness criteria of the interested party. Then employees, that is the job satisfaction, pay and conditions, and the quality of the leadership. That means the employees, what is the effectiveness criteria? That is the job satisfaction, pay and the conditions, and the quality of the leadership. Then customers, customer, what is the effectiveness criteria? That is the quality of the product and the services. That is how the quality will be maintained. That is the quality of product and services. That is the customers. Then community, that is contribution to the community, whatever the jobs, whatever the support that is required for the traders in the community. Then care for the local environment. So that care for the local environment also, that is also a part of the community. Then suppliers, that is a satisfactory mutual trading. Investors, value of the share, because they interested in investing the share. So that is the value of share is one of the part of the investors. Then government, that compliance with the legislation, that compliance with the rules and regulations that is carried out with the regulation that is carried out with the government. So that is the compliance with the legislation. These are the various interested parties that is available. So these are the interested party and these are the various effectiveness criteria that is carried out with this. Now, next is the characteristics of the quality. That is, what are the various characteristics that is available for the quality. And this topic I am going to cover in the next class, that is in the Monday's class. So that's all for today's session. And if there is any doubts, you can ask the doubts from me. And any doubts regarding maybe assignment, that may be a product, any doubts that is regarding the module, assignment, anything, you can ask the doubts from me. So that's all from my side. And thank you so much everyone for listening to me. And we will meet on the Monday with a new topic, that is the characteristics of the quality. So enjoy your weekend, and the new topic, that is the what are the various characteristics of the quality, or we can say how we can classify the